Hey guys, and welcome to the first ever video cast of Blue Collar Sports. If you guys have been with us through our journey, we've been a radio show, and we still are a radio show here on campus at Boise State University. Again, that's Blue Collar Sports. I'm co-host Seth Newville, joined here with co-host Trevor Brenlin. And we're doing something new now, which you're watching right now, and I'm going to send over Trevor, and he's going to explain more about that.
Yeah, I know you watch our show, Blue Collar Sports, Tuesday and Thursdays from 9 to 11 a.m. We're on every week, and we're so excited to get back in here, too. It's a new thing we're doing. We're kind of show we got here going for you guys on video. We're going to go over all NFL weekends, and it's going to be good stuff. And we're going to do our picks today in NFL Week 1 and cover it all.
That's right. If you tuned into our show last year, we did our picks every week. Trevor won that last year.
Sure
He
did.
had a better record. And we already got it up and running right now. So we're going to go over our picks. But actually, we're going to start with our power rankings right now. So I'll move over.
Take it.
I know it's kind of hard to read the green. But these are our top 10 NFL power rankings entering the season. Again, we already did have action Thursday night, which is going to shake it up tremendously.
Sure is.
Which we're going to have more on that in a bit. But I start off with my number one, New Orleans Saints. I think they're the most balanced team we've talked about. I think the Vikings are up there with them in terms of balance, but the Saints, I think, have more talent. So I like the Saints at 1. Eagles are at 2. They did win Thursday night, which we're going to have more on for sure. But I'm not sure what to judge of that win yet, so we'll see if they move right now. But they are the defending champs. Got to put them at 2. We'll see, especially once Carson Wentz returns. Patriots, I think the Patriots, it's Tom Brady. I do think, and we've both talked about it, that they're going to have a down year this year. So we'll see what happens with them. But the AFC is wide open. They have an easy division, so I expect them to stay in the top 5. Vikings, like I just said, very well balanced. Great offseason. Returned everyone pretty much. Dalvin Cook, the running backs off injury. Signed Kirk Cousins, do a big deal. George Iocca, the safety, brought him in. So watch out for the Vikings. Tough division, tough NFC, a lot of talent. But perhaps the most the best offseason. Definitely the most going on around there. They add a whole bunch of new pieces. They brought back Aaron Donald, Adam Marcus Peters, Aqib Talib, the Dominican Sue, Brandon Cooks. So expect big things from Sean McVay. They have all the weapons to do it. I have them to 5 to start that. This is a team I fully expect to fall. Le'Veon Bell now with the news that he will not play Week 1. We'll have more on that. But I expect them to drop. We'll see, though. We'll see what happens there. James Conner will start. Atlanta, I already know is going to fall because Thursday night did not look good. We're going to have more on that in a second as well. But Atlanta made it to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Should have won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. I have them at 7. Number 8, my biggest sleeper. Well, these two teams are probably my biggest sleepers. Number 8 is the LA Chargers. Watch out for them this year. A lot of talent. I know you like them this year. Disappointed me, but I think this year they've got it all going for them. Number 9, the Packers, solely because of Aaron Rodgers. Best player in football, best offensive player in football, I think, by far. But does he have enough around him? We'll see. So I have them at 9 to start. Number 10, my biggest sleeper, the Houston Texans. Deshaun Watson's coming back. Defense is loaded with J.J. Watt leading the way. He's coming off injury. So watch for them to rise. And definitely have an opportunity to rise because they have to play a big game this week. So that's my top 10 entering the season.
So that's Seth's NFL top 10 power rankings entering the season. If you watched or listened to our show, we already kind of covered this past week, and we're going to give it to you again on here on our new show. And so I'm going to go for my top 10 now. And I got the Philadelphia Eagles at number 1. They're defending champions. But after Thursday, they might be dropping. Did not look impressive. The Falcons I had at number 2. I had high hopes on this team. They brought back everybody. I really expected them to have a really good year, but after that loss to Philly on Thursday, which we're going to cover, I think they might be dropping. Number 3, I got New Orleans Saints. I think they might be the most balanced team. Drew Brees is a fantastic player. He's going to lead this team. Their defense is really good too. I really like the Saints team this year. Number 4, the LA Rams. Best offseason by far, and the best free agent isn't even playing football. He's playing basketball. LeBron James is in LA, so everyone, LA's going to be hyped. Rams are going to be good this year. Watch out. Patriots, number 5. You know, they are the Patriots. They're going to be in there the entire season. But we did talk about how I think, and we both think that they might be dropping this year. Tom Brady's getting a little bit older. A lot of pieces have left, so
Question marks are running backs and receivers.
yeah, so a lot of drama's been going on there. Belichick and the whole crew, so we'll see how their season plays out. Number 6, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers. I did like this team coming in. I actually had them in my way too early Super Bowl predictions against the New Orleans Saints. But with no Le'Veon, that's obviously probably going to change. Number 7, I got the Vikings. I know you're much higher on the Vikings than I am this year. I do think Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback than Case Keenum, so I think Vikings will be right in the mix for the playoffs once again.
Bring
But
back everybody.
we shall see how far they can get this year again. Number 8, Green Bay Packers. It's Aaron Rodgers. He's my pick to win the MVP this year. He's a bad man, and he's going to lead this team. He is the Green Bay Packers. Number 9, I got the Houston Texans. Just like you, I'm very high on them. Deshaun Watson is back. He was possibly an MVP candidate as a rookie last year if he didn't get injured. That Houston Texans team is stacked. Their defense is just as good as their offense, and that team's going to be electric, so can't wait to watch them. And number 10, a team that I've not been high on pretty much my whole life, that's the Chargers. But I think they're going to have a very good year this year. I think he needs one more shot for that Super Bowl ring, and he's got a pretty balanced team to lead to that way, and we shall see how they do. And I believe we have the exact same 10 teams in our top 10, just a little bit different order. But
It's probably going to change.
it is definitely going to change next week. That is our NFL top 10 power rankings entering the NFL season.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to me that we have both same teams, just different order. But we do expect a lot of that to change, and especially with what we're about to get into right now. First game was underway Thursday night. If you guys missed it, you really didn't miss a whole lot. Good ending. Kind of a sloppy game overall. His first game was a weather delay. Quarterbacks both struggled. There wasn't a single passing touchdown in this game. But the Eagles, the defending champions, came out on top, winning 18-12. As you can see, we will be putting our check marks for our picks. I'm green. He is in blue. We both picked the Falcons, so we both start the year 0-1. But Trevor, initial thoughts on this game?
Yeah, this game was pretty sloppy. Not what I expected. I really thought the Falcons were going to come out and put a stomp on the Eagles. But both teams came out flat. Matt Ryan was, I know his nickname is Matty Ice, and he played like ice cold.
Ice cold.
He could not find the red zone. They were in the end zone. They were in the red zone 4 times, I believe, and they only got 3 points out of those entire trips. And Julio Jones, I believe, is 1 for 20 with Matt Ryan in the red zone in the past couple of years for touchdowns. So they just, I know Julio did not play during the preseason, so maybe that connection there just has not clicked just yet. Like, he did have a lot of yards, but just he needs to find the end zone. And Matt Ryan, I don't know what I saw, but he needs to improve. That was not good, not a good outing. And for Philadelphia, I don't think they played that well either. They definitely need Carson Wentz back if they want to make a run in the playoffs. Their defense held them in this game the entire time. Their offense just wasn't clicking. Nick Foles he's good, but I know he did great stuff to win that Super Bowl, but he's not their starter the entire year. They need Carson Wentz back.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So I think the biggest takeaway from this is, yes, I think the Eagles look sloppy. The Falcons really did outplay them for the most part.
Yeah, they should have won this
They should have won this game. That seemed to have been the Falcons' problem. I mean, every year I think, they'll fix it this year. They'll be able to finish. Can't get the job done again here against the Eagles. And for the Eagles, looking at this, NFC's deep this year. I mean, we've talked about it. I mean, looking at our top 10 teams, the majority of them are from the NFC. 7 of them are from the NFC. So it's tough. And so the Eagles, I think, when I first saw their schedule, I mean, we're not sure how long Carson Wentz is going to be out yet. My guess is week 3 or 4 is when he'll start to come back. But they need as many wins as they can get up until that point. So the fact that they still got the job done when this game has got to be scary for the rest of the league.
Yeah.
Because the one thing they're missing, I think, right now is a quarterback, and obviously we've seen what Wentz could do.
But we both picked the Falcons, like you said, so we both start off 0-1 Sunday. It's finally back. NFL is back on Sunday, and we're going to be giving you guys our picks right now. And let's start off with the 11 Mountain Standard Time games on Sunday.
Yeah, first one, we talked about a little bit, Steelers-Browns. Obviously, the past couple years hasn't been a very interesting game. We would have normally just went right past it, given our picks, and gone to the next one. But this year is going to be interesting to me. Browns, obviously, they have Hard Knocks, brand new look team. Tyrod Taylor comes in, Jarvis Landry, Josh Gordon's back. Brand look team, Nick Chubb. We'll see what he can do as a running back. And they brought in Carlos Hyde as well. So, and Myles Garrett's second year. So the Browns could do some interesting things. Their fan base is always, we know the Browns fan base. And I think this year they're going to have a lot of energy and they're going to have a lot of expectations. And the Steelers don't have Le'Veon Bell. James Conner will start. We're not sure how long Le'Veon's going to be out yet. It's kind of a week-to-week thing. But as of right now, we know for sure he is not playing Sunday. And so that's why this could be a sleeper game. But I can't trust Cleveland. I can't pick Cleveland until I actually see them perform. So for that reason, I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, you pretty much said it all here. I do like what the Browns did in the offseason. They got some veterans, some nice pieces they needed. Tyrod Taylor will be the man. We're going to wait for Baker Mayfield to see when he will start. But the Browns team will be competitive in this game. In the Steelers, I know, like you said, no Le'Veon Bell, so We'll see how the chemistry is really developed without him. Their defense really isn't what I want it to be just yet, but we'll see how they play week 1. And I just can't go against the Steelers in this matchup. Against the Browns, I think it's all Steelers in this one.
I'm interested to see how long it'll take Trevor to throw the Steelers in the dungeon.
They might get pretty close. They're close last year.
Moving to the next one, big storyline here. Andrew Luck's return at home. Indianapolis, obviously, we have not seen him in a long time. And this was a guy that took a pretty bad Colts team a couple years ago to the AFC Championship game. And we all know what happened in that game. They got destroyed, but that was the whole Deflategate situation. But in this one, he returns. Bengals defense, I think, is pretty underrated, to be honest. I like their front 7. Secondary has some question marks. But I do think the Bengals team are more talented. They played together for a long time. And that's why I'm going with the Cincinnati Bengals.
And we're going to start off with a first disagreement. I just cannot trust Andy Dalton at all. I know Andrew Luck's coming off an injury. He's been a little sloppy in the preseason so far, but I expect him to really develop in this first game and improve himself. And I think this Colts team, they're not very talented, but Andrew Luck is one of the special players that could really improve the players around him. And I have to go with the Colts at home. They get their star quarterback back, and they're going to take this win.
So first disagreement of the year, as we were both on Atlanta, both on Pittsburgh, and now we see Bengals, Colts. Not the most exciting disagreement, but every pick counts, right? And that we move into the Titans, Dolphins. Not too many storylines here. Titans have a new head coach, obviously, Mike Vrabel, defensive-minded guy, so we'll see what he can do. And it's a good first game for them because they are playing a Miami team that actually I have finished the second worst record in the NFL, just behind Tampa Bay. I had in my game-to-game picks, I had Miami finishing, I believe, 2-14, and expect this one to be one of those 14 losses. Tennessee, perhaps the most average team in the league, but average is definitely enough to beat the Miami Dolphins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not high on Miami Dolphins at all. They're not going to have that good of a year. They're pretty average. I do like the Mike Vrabel hire. I think he's a nice coach. I would have liked them to get an offensive-minded guy to lead Marcus Mariota to that next stage of his career, to be more of an elite passer. I'm just expecting him to improve this year. And I want to see that in this first game against the Dolphins, who not going to be that good. With Tennessee Titans as well.
Moving to perhaps our first big game out of the 11 o'clock ones that we've covered so far, and that's Jaguars-Giants. Can't wait for this one. Lots of storylines here. Obviously, Saquon Barkley, the number 2 overall pick in the draft. Perhaps maybe the top running back prospect we've seen in a long time. Him and Ezekiel Elliott, I think, go hand in hand with that. And so I expect big things from him. Very tough game here to open up, though. Obviously, Jacksonville's defense, perhaps the best defense in the NFL last year, and perhaps the best defense in the NFL this year. It's going to be a tough matchup for him. Odell versus Jalen Ramsey, can't wait to see that. But in this game, the Giants, I was high on them last year, and they disappointed me. I'm high on them this year, and I expect them to disappoint me in week 1. I think it's going to be an ugly game. Sad thing, I think like 17-13 would be my prediction for the score. But I do like the Jacksonville Jaguars to get the job done.
This should be a fantastic game. Everyone's looking towards the Odell versus Jalen Ramsey matchup, of course. Not to like their defense, but Blake Bortles, can you really trust him as a quarterback? But at the same time, can you really trust Eli Manning these days? I don't know. The Giants, I know I was very high on them last year, and they quickly collapsed, and I put them in the dungeon very quick. I knew their season was over. But they did a lot on the dungeon, a lot of good stuff this offseason. New Pat Shurmur as a head coach. I think he's really come in and take over this entire locker room. I'm very excited to see how Saquon does, and their defense is pretty nice too. So I like the Giants, and I'm actually going to disagree with you in this one. I got the Giants beating the Jaguars at home, and the Giants are starting off the year much better than last year.
So there's our second disagreement. Now as we move into another huge game, 49ers, Vikings. Obviously Vikings, I said. Good. I know I'm big on the Vikings, and you are. You're a little bit bigger on the Niners than I am. So interesting game here. Jimmy G has a lot of weapons now. Their defense is much better. They added Richard Sherman, so it'll be fun to watch him go up against Stephon Diggs. But I do like Minnesota too much in this one. They return a lot. It's at home in Minnesota. I got to go with the Vikings to pull this one out in Kirk Cousins' debut, but I expect it to be a great game.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this matchup. Jimmy Garoppolo, he's still undefeated in the NFL. He just got paid. But it's probably going to be the best defense he's ever faced in this league. Mm-hmm. And I'm very interested to see how he goes against that, what he can do to change if he has mistakes early. But this Vikings team, much more talented 49ers overall. They are playing at home, tough place to play. I think the fan base is going to be ecstatic. Very good year last year. They have very high expectations this year. So I am going with the Vikings in this matchup. And Jimmy Garoppolo will see his first NFL loss.
That's a big one. This is also a great game.
Yes.
Texans, I picked to go to my way too early Super Bowl. I still expect that to happen. However, Deshaun Watson fully healthy. And Patriots, they've given Bill Belichick a lot of time to prepare for this game. Anytime Belichick and Tom have a lot of time to prepare. And I think there's a lot of hate around New England, or not a lot of hate, but a lot of pressure on New England series. A lot of people are doubting them. I think that could really fuel Tom Brady and Bill Belichick to go out there and prove people wrong once again. I do like to see this matchup in the playoffs again, and I will pick it different when that time comes. But for Week 1, I am going with the New England Patriots to defeat the Houston Texans.
Yeah, I like the Texans in this matchup. Very talented, of course. Deshaun Watson is back. I think it's going to take maybe a game or two for Deshaun to get his legs under himself, get more comfortable. Could definitely see the Texans winning this game, but I have to go with the Patriots also. Like you said, I think there is a lot of pressure on New England. They're going to be pretty upset from their Super Bowl loss last year. Bill Belichick wants to prove that he can still win with an old Tom Brady, and I think he's going to prove that in this Week 1.
So that's a great game. Then we move to a game. Not a whole lot to say about the Saints-Buccaneers game this week.
Yeah.
It is in my NFL power rankings. I have the Saints my number 1 team, and I have the Buccaneers my number 32 team. So for that matter, I obviously got to go to New Orleans. Look for them to have a big year. No Mark Ingram here, but shouldn't affect him too much. Kamara will get a chance to be really the lead back in this one. And so I like the Saints to get the job done handily against Tampa Bay.
Ryan Fitzpatrick will be the starter for the Buccaneers as Jameis Winston is suspended. I think this will be the biggest blowout of the weekend. New Orleans Saints are going to start off strong. Drew Brees, start him if you have him in fantasy because this is going to be a big week.
Moving on to the last 11 o'clock game we have on here, and that's the Bills and the Ravens. Very interesting offseason for the Bills. Drafted Josh Allen, quarterback from Wyoming, and then announced that Nathan Peterman's going to start after trading A.J. McCarron to the Oakland Raiders. Worse offense this year now without Tyrod Taylor, and their defense was good, but they could not score last year, and if they could score last year, I do not expect them to be able to score this year. Baltimore, I do not have in my playoffs, but definitely good enough to beat Buffalo, and I think Baltimore could be a sleeper. I mean, I know you talked about it on our show. Joe Flacco has a lot of pressure on him now with Lamar Jackson there. And people are starting to write him off. So I think he wants to come out. He's been working hard, and the Bills are a great opportunity at home to go out there and prove that he's still capable of leading this team. So I'm going Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I do like the Ravens. I think they improved the most during the preseason for my liking. They look pretty nice. Their defense is very good, of course. They always are. And Joe Flacco, he's very determined to keep that starting job. So I think he's going to play very well. And Nathan Peterman is not the guy for Buffalo. I'm not too sure what's going on in Buffalo this offseason. A lot of question marks, so I have to go with Baltimore.
And then that moves to our 2 o'clock games. Some are 2:05, some are 2:25. Again, that's Mountain Standard Time. First one, a great game here. Chiefs-Chargers. This is going to be a battle for the AFC. I think they're a really good battle. I think I have them both in my playoffs. If the Chargers win the division, Chiefs get into the wild card. But this is a great game. Patrick Mahomes gets his first start as a Kansas City Chief. I've heard a lot of great things about him. I'm excited to be able to see him play because I didn't really see him much in college either. So I don't know a whole lot about this guy, but I've heard great things. He's got a cannon. He's pretty much the opposite of Alex Smith, which is what they kind of need right now. Yeah. But the Chargers here, Phillip Rivers, I think is really his last shot to prove that he could be an elite quarterback. I mean, when you look at his numbers, he's up there with guys like Drew Brees, the Tom Brady's and such. His numbers are that good. He just has not been able to win. And that's always been his key, and this is kind of, I think, his last opportunity because he has the pieces to do it, and I expect them to get it done, especially in this game. I like them to beat the Chiefs.
I'm very excited about this game. I'm a lot of question marks for Kansas City. They're probably the biggest team where I just want to see where I have anything to say about them. I think Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid are going to click. Andy Reid gets that gunslinger, and that's what he needs. And so I can't wait to see that matchup. Joey Bosa will not be playing in this game for the Chargers, so they'll be pretty close. It'll be very exciting, a lot of fireworks, but I have to go with the Chargers to win.
Which takes us to the Seahawks-Broncos. A couple years ago, this was a fantastic game. It was a Super Bowl matchup. Obviously, times have changed dramatically. Seattle's lost everyone on defense except for Earl Thomas, pretty much. And I'm not sure how excited he is to be there. So
Might be
we'll see
outstanding.
how he plays. And Denver, they bring him in from Minnesota, but there's a lot of question marks on that team. Their defense is still good. They still have Von Miller. I like the addition of Chubb. They drafted Bradley Chubb, so I like that. And I think at home against Seattle, who I do not trust their offensive line, I do not trust their defense. Russell Wilson's really the only person on that team that I trust. They're going to start the year off with a loss. I think Denver will start the year off with a win. I don't have them doing very well this year, but this is a good matchup for them.
Yeah, both these teams not too big on. I love Russell Wilson, but he's in Seattle. And for the Broncos, they got a nice defense, and I think they're definitely attack Russell Wilson, that offensive line. They're not going to be able to withstand them, and I think I have to go with Denver. Not too big on the Case Keenum signing. It's a nice piece for a short-term place, but he is not their long-term deal guy, and I think the Broncos will be an average team there.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Moving on to the Redskins Cardinals. Kind of an interesting matchup here. Alex Redskins, as he was involved in the trade from the Chiefs. So it's his first new game. Adrian Peterson also is a starting running back in this one. So Washington has a lot of experience on their team. Josh Norman, their corner, obviously still a great cornerback. And Arizona has too many question marks. David Johnson is back, but we'll see what he could do coming off his torn ACL. And he's had injury problems throughout his career, so I'm not sure what to expect from him. And Sam Bradford will get the start in this one. I do expect it to be Rosen by the end of the year, but as of right now, it's Bradford, and I think the Redskins got a lot more going for them right now. So I'm going with DC.
Yeah, the Redskins got a little bit more experience here. Alex Smith is a new guy in Washington now, and I think it will be a nice piece for this Redskins team. Very tough division, though, in the NFC. So usually they might be a playoff team, but very tough schedule, tough division. So it's going to be close for them going forward. But they got a nice matchup against the Cardinals week 1. Not too big on the Cardinals until they start Josh Rosen. I think he will be their guy later in the year, like you said. But I have to match up. They'll take the win.
Which brings us to our last 2 o'clock game, which I think is the best one, and that is your Dallas Cowboys taking on the Carolina Panthers. I've been big on the Panthers in the past. They disappointed. I do not have them in the playoffs this year. I have them and the Cowboys just missing out of the playoffs. And so I think this could be a big game for playoff time. I mean, every game in the NFL matters. That's what makes the season so much. This especially is a big one to look for. Zeke Elliott and Dak, we'll see what they could do. Dak doesn't have a whole lot of weapons around him, so he's going to have to be a legit quarterback. He's got to make weapons around him. So this is really his opportunity to do that. But Carolina, great things about Christian McCaffrey this year. They're going to start looking to utilize him, and they have a lot of experience on defense. They're at home. I'm going with Carolina.
Yeah, you guys might be a little surprised about my pick here. Of course, I would love to go with the Dallas Cowboys. That's my team. But they are not starting off this year on the best track. Travis Frederick will not be playing their star center. And that's all what happened to their O-line with injuries last year. Just completely fell apart. Carolina, not too big on usually, but I do have them winning in this game. Cam Newton will do just enough. Dallas defense is not there yet. So Cam Newton will really take over that game. Probably as a rusher, I see him rushing a lot in this game. And Carolina's front 7 is very good, led by Luke Kuechly, best linebacker in the game. So I think they're going to be able to rush the Cowboys, defend their receivers. They don't really have much, and Carolina will take the win here in Week 1.
Do look for Michael Gallup in this game, though. I think Cowboys receiver Michael Gallup, I think he will be their number 1 target by the end of the year. I expect him to do big things. So he's my sleeper of the year. So watch him in that game, but I agree. I think the Panthers will get the job done. Which moves us to our Sunday night football game. Last game is Sunday, and it's a rivalry game. The Chicago Bears go to Green Bay to take on the Packers. Always a heated game here. Going to be fun to watch. We see the highest paid offensive player playing against the highest paid defensive player against this game. Packers just extended Aaron Rodgers, and the Bears traded for Khalil Mack and gave him a huge extension. So I'm guessing Mack's going to play. I know he just should be, but I fully expect him to be ready to go in this one. But Green Bay's got too much. Bears are a sleeper team for me for sure. So I think it all depends on Trubisky, and I don't trust him enough yet. But they got pieces. They got Jordan Howard there and a great defense. But Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. He could take any team he has to the Super Bowl. And the Bears are just another team in his path. So I like the Packers.
Yeah, this will be a good Sunday night football game to kick off Week 1. I'm excited to see this Bears team with Khalil Mack. I want to see the defense really take over. You also got Roquan Smith in the draft now, so the linebackers are going to be very nice. Jordan Howard's a very nice running back, but like you said, it's all on Trubisky. How far can he take this team? And he's not Aaron Rodgers. that the Packers have. I did pick Aaron Rodgers to win MVP this year. No, he had a little rough season. A lot of question marks around him talking about his team and his future, but he got paid, got his deal. He's ready to take over this league and remind everybody who he is, and that is the Green Bay Packers, and they will win on Sunday Night Football.
Which now we go to Monday Night Football, and again, Monday Night Football always kicks off with a doubleheader. So another doubleheader here, and it features my New York Jets, the brand new quarterback Sam Darnold getting the start in this one, going to Detroit to take on Detroit. I always say they're the Titans of the NFC, which is an average team who's always seems to be around 7-9, 8-8, 9-7 range, and just missing the playoffs. But this year, I didn't finish a little less, maybe in the 6-win range. I don't really like the offseason they had. Don't really have a lot of key pieces. Look for Kerryon Johnson, though. Their running back. I think he'll have an opportunity to get some snaps. I think he can make the most of them. But speaking of rookies, Sam Darnold getting the start. I know you're huge on Sam Darnold. I've been skeptical of him, but he is in New York. I got to give him trust here. I got to go after him, so I'm going Gang Green to win this one. In his first start, probably a little sloppy, but I think they'll have enough to get it done. I like their defense a lot.
He is going to take over this league. I know it's
better be right.
Week 1. I know it's against a Lions team that I do see as an average team. Don't like what the Lions did in offseason like you. Matt Patricia signing as the head coach, a little question mark about me. Matthew Stafford is a great player for the offense, but now you get a defensive head coach. I wanted to see the Lions get an offensive head coach.
Just like Tennessee.
But the Lions, not too big on them. They don't have too many pieces. And the Jets, I think they're a very good team this year. I think they'll be an average team right in the middle. Sam Darnold, after they traded Teddy Bridgewater, is their starter now. Very big on him. I do think he'll start off a little slow. He's got to have his growing pains, of course. But this is a very good Week 1 matchup for him, and he's going to show the world what he is made of on Monday Night Football. The stage is not too big for him. He's done great stuff at USC, and he's going to take over.
Yeah, I mean, there's no bigger stage than your first game as an NFL rookie quarterback getting the start on Monday Night Football. I can't wait to watch that one. Which takes us to our final game of the week, the LA Rams. Quiet offseason. I'll let you talk more about that because I know you love it. Todd Gurley, though, their returner, the running back, he returns, like I said, and he's my pick for MVP. I expect huge things from him, and the Raiders' defense is bad. I don't know if you saw this. Amari Cooper, their star receiver, asking about the Khalil Mack trade and their defense, and he said they're going to have to score MVP, which is not a good thing coming from their own locker room. And against a Rams offense who has a lot of weapons, I expect this to be a blowout here. LA gets the job done.
Yeah, not too big on the John Gruden signing for the Raiders. He's good personality for this team. He's on a bad path already with the whole Khalil Mack situation. They traded him, and he really was their only piece on defense. So their defense is bad, and this offense for the Rams is going to be electric. Brandon Cooks comes in now. He's going to have a big year. I know he's been kind of a disappointment maybe for the Patriots and the Saints the past couple years, but look for him to really click with Sean McVay's offensive system here. He's going to have a great year. Jared Goff is back. He's going to be great. Todd Gurley, of course, great player. Probably maybe could get the MVP as well, like your pick. But their defense is stacked now. Of course, you got Aaron Donald in the game, I believe. And they had Ndamukong Suh right next to him. So who are you going to double now? I don't know. And then you got Aqib Talib and Marcus Peters as the corners.
Secondary.
Wow, that's going to be
fantastic.
Secondary. Already, they also, I think, very underrated Sam Shields. They got him as probably a nickel guy. He's going to be a very nice piece for this team, too. And Wade Phillips, he was great last year with this defense. Yeah, I think they were top 5. Now I expect them to be 1 or 2. In this Rams team, I'm very excited to watch how they play. It's all about the locker room, though. How can they really click? I know Sean McVay is a young head coach. Some players are older than him, but I'm very excited. And also very underrated, I think the Rams have the best special teams in the game. Their punter, their kicker. We saw them go down last year, and that was a complete disappointment when they got into the playoffs. They really needed him. And so I think it's a very underrated thing that people aren't really talking about. But the Rams, I think overall, are the most stacked team in the league. They got pieces everywhere, every position, and I have to go with the Rams.
And I see you have them at 4 in your power rankings. I'm at 5.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely expect them to move up in yours with a big win here.
Yes, with both of these teams, I think are dropping.
Eagles, which we could see, depends on how the Rams come out. But that does wrap up our picks. As you can see, we only have 2 disagreements this week. Normally a little bit more, but it is week 1, so a lot of people have similar thoughts, but that'll definitely change throughout the season. which is the Bengals-Colts game. The Jaguars-Giants are our two disagreements, but lots of big games. Can't wait to get it.
NFL is back. Lots of good stuff. We picked our games like you have right here. We showed you. We'll have a recap of these. So listen to our show on Blue Collar Sports. We'll recap all these games and we'll go over our picks, who will be in the lead with these two differences here. And then next week we'll have our Week 2 predictions and an updated NFL Power Rankings.
That's right. We appreciate you guys watching this. It was our first ever live cast, but there's plenty more to come here. Definitely check out our show Tuesday and Thursday from 9 to 11 in the morning. That's Blue Collar Sports. We are at the Pulse Radio Studio down here at Boise State University. But these are our picks. NFL's back. Watch for college football too as well. Lots going on in the sports world. It's going to be fun.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for tuning in. It was great doing this. And make sure to tune into Blue Collar Sports. Thank you.
Can't wait. Thank you guys.